Hampton and Harris with Bobbi Roquemore, where the world of sports meets the mic and the hammer of the law.
And good evening, everybody. Welcome to the latest edition of Hampton and Harris with Bobbi Roquemore. I'm Rickey Hampton with my great friend John J.D. Harris, coming to you on a special Wednesday night tonight, Sweet 16 edition of Hampton and Harris, Hump Day, all that good stuff. JD, good to see you as always, my brother.
Thanks for inviting me, my man. You know, I appreciate that invite every week.
Absolutely. We're new here on Sports Fluent Net, and we're going to be here every week. Most weeks we will be here on Thursday. We wanted to do this tonight, just talk for a few minutes about, big weekend in college basketball, and we'll touch on some other topics tonight and get in our Tendex ratings. I want to get our viewers used to our Tendex ratings that you've been doing for a long time, and as people get to know us, they'll get a better understanding of the Tendex ratings. But John, because we're so new, I do want to get you to explain what you do with the system that you've been using for almost 30 years.
Yeah, it's something I learned a long time ago. I used it. I covered the NBA for a long time, and it was very beneficial. I guess like everybody else, when I first heard about it, I don't know if the skepticism was the word, but just curious. And then I learned how to use it from the originator, Dave Herron. He taught me how the system works. And the more I used it in my line of work, covering the Detroit Pistons and Orlando Magic, the more I understood how good it was. It helped me with my coverage. It gave me an insight into players, maybe better than what their statistics, their scoring averages might have shown. And, then it transferred to college players, especially going into the draft, being able to target players, even unknown players from schools that people don't really know about, haven't heard about, haven't seen on national TV. And once, as the years have gone by, Rick, just uncanny with his accuracy, predicting a lot of players that I had no idea about, and just said, this guy is good, this guy's a bust. And as years went by, I learned to trust it more and more. And the other thing about Tendex, Rick, in doing it, I go through all the teams. I get a better feel for the overall statistics for each team. Like now in the Sweet 16, I have a pretty good idea. Their best players, their strengths, their weaknesses, who rebounds best, who turns the ball over more, those type of things. So doing Tendex, not only do you get a rating, a 3-digit rating, but it also just gives you more insight into the teams themselves.
Yeah, and you couple that with your eyes, because I know you trust your eyes. You've seen it in basketball too.
Yeah, I love to get in debates with folks. They want to argue about somebody or this guy or that guy, and I'll say, "What are you basing your opinion on?" Well, I saw him play last week, and the dude can light it up. I said, "Okay, you got anything else for me besides that?" I just like him, and,
Right.
and unfortunately, Rick, that's what a lot of teams do. Scouts, they like a guy, they like him. Everybody likes him. This scout from this team likes him. This guy likes him. So we're going to pick him high because everybody likes him. And guess what? If we get it wrong, well, everybody liked him. Tendex doesn't get caught up to that. Tendex just looks at the guys, looks at the players, looks at their numbers, and said, hey, this guy has the ability to play at the next level, at a high level. This guy over here is underrated or overrated. I mean, I'll give you an example. Darren Patterson with Kansas this year. I mean, just everybody has just jumped over the moon about him and how great he was. I had no idea. I saw some highlights of the guy. He can obviously stroke it. He can shoot. Then I finally did his rating, and I was shocked. it was low, and I did it several times to make sure I didn't make a mistake. And his rating right now, it's okay. I guess he's going to come out early to go to the NBA draft. Some people had him projected as being a number one pick, but Tindex just said he's a great scorer, but there are other elements to his game that he needs to improve on. So,
and I think the scouts are beginning to look at that now. Well, let's start off. We'll hit the men and women. We got Tindex ratings. We're going to get into a couple of NBA around 10 o'clock or so. We got games tomorrow, JD. We got Texas and Purdue at 7:10. Iowa, who knocked off number one ranked Florida, takes on Nebraska. I'm wondering what time kickoff is for that game, but it's a basketball game. That sounds like a Big Ten battle right there.
You got that right.
Arkansas and Arizona, 9:45.
Yeah.
And Illinois and my team, the Houston Cougars, with one of my favorite coaches, Kelvin Sampson.
Yeah.
Kicks off at 10:05. Those are the four games tonight. Thursday. And we'll get to the Friday. Well, let's just go over the Friday game. St. John and Duke, Friday. Another good football game. Alabama and Michigan. They play at 7:30. Michigan State and UConn. Two Hall of Fame coaches going against each other at 9:45.
Yeah.
And Tennessee and Iowa State at 10:10. So some good matchups, JD. But let's go to the ratings and see what Tindex is saying about these schools. And sitting on top there, it's a tie with Michigan and Arizona atop the Tindex ratings.
Yeah, I mean, both teams played well, their first two tournament games. You won't find a lot of drops, teams going from 121 to 125 over a 2-game period. You might see slight increments here. Both of these teams pretty much stayed the same. Duke got about actually almost a point or so better in their first two tournament games. There's not a lot of change, just over such a small window of 2 games. But the top team, and you look at the ratings tell you a lot. You got 3 teams that are 120. Then you see how it kind of drops off. There's a small group of teams that are ranked that high. And then you have a lot of teams in the middle, the 116, the 117, the 115s. And then you have at the bottom, actually, Texas, which is the only double-digit seed, I believe, that's still playing. They had the lowest rating amongst all the teams coming into the Sweet 16. And, it'll be interesting to see how they navigate that as they climb the ladder. I guess you could call them a Cinderella. They have one of the biggest athletic budgets in college sports. So I have a hard time calling them an underdog or Cinderella.
Absolutely, JD. And I'm looking at the bottom here. Every team in the Tindex top 20 entering the NCAA tournament won their first round game.
Yeah.
And Tindex teams losing the second round with Florida to Iowa, Gonzaga to Texas, and Virginia to Tennessee. And all 3 of those schools that pulled the upset are really established programs.
Yeah.
And I'm here in Detroit, and I've been following Michigan and Michigan State all year. And I kept telling you about, I think Michigan's keeping Yaxel Lindenberg, a guy you started talking about before anybody knew about him a couple of years ago. I always like to see they kept him in his back pocket.
Yeah.
They pulled him out a little bit. He's been outstanding so far in the tournament.
His rating went up a little bit as well, which he's now playing. And that's the other thing you look at when you're scouting or as Tindex looks for trends. Now that teams are in the NCAA tournament, you look to see, if a player's rating's going up now, that's really telling you something about him as far as, competition's better. The pressure is more keen now. So if a player now has a high Tindex rating, their rating goes up now, that's telling you, you want to put an asterisk by that name. That's a player who, as it gets tougher, he gets better. And he's one of those guys. Yeah.
And we're gonna get to the players too. We also have a 10-dex rating for the men, individual players on the men's side. We're gonna get to a 10-dex rating for the ladies, and we got the ladies individual ratings there. And when I look at this, it looks pretty solid to me, JD. Because I think Michigan can win. I think Arizona can win. I think Duke, UConn, and Houston can win it. I think my sleeper out of that, man, I like the way Alabama and St. John's can get up and down the court.
Yeah.
Michigan State, they're just a rugged, hard-nosed team. I don't know if they got enough. And Purdue can be scary. With Brandon Smith, that outstanding point guard. I wonder what the draft is going to say about him. Next time we do that, I want you to tell me what 10-dex says about his pro potential.
Well, his rating actually is a little lower. I started picking up on him 2 years ago when he had the big guy on his team. His rating was a little bit higher then, but understandable. He was feeding his teammate a lot more. His rating's still high though. It's still a very good rating.
Yeah, he just threw it up there and Edie would go get it.
Yeah. So I think he's maintained, and he's more of a focal point now. Teams are gearing their defenses to him now. He's the key. So the fact that he's been able to maintain that rating and has his team back in the Sweet 16 again says a lot for him.
Hey, let's welcome the viewers out there. I see you out there. Send us your questions and comments. Who do you like heading into this weekend? Who is set up for a possible upset? JD, I don't know if you could call any of the. Guys are higher seeds.
Yeah.
But like you said, these are all established programs. If Tennessee beats Iowa State, that's an upset.
No, I like Iowa State, especially if Joshua Jefferson, who 10-dex loves, he missed his first couple games with the injury. If he's able to play, they could be a team that you could see at the end. They played very well without him, but with him, it goes to another level. And I like Arkansas. I'm intrigued by that Arkansas matchup. Darius Acuff, the guard, I love him. He's from Detroit.
Yeah.
10-dex loves him. He is an outstanding player. Calipari, he coaches guards. That's a guard who's definitely got the NBA in his future. Arkansas is a dangerous team. Play hard, they play unselfishly, and they have a great player.
Yeah, we got 6 teams from the Big Ten in there. We got 4 teams from the SEC in there. So these are all big time programs. JD, do you think now with the NIL, the Cinderella, the true Cinderellas, the James Madisons, and what was it, Florida Atlantic, Florida, one of the smaller schools out of Florida made around a couple of years. You think that's done?
Yeah, High Point. I heard people talk about their budget though. They said they have a very high basketball budget, even though they're mid-major. So they said that might be a little deceiving, that they maybe are more on a par with some of the other bigger programs. But yeah, by and large, it's you still got your major programs here. They still have the lion's share of the NIL money. Now it's just maybe a little bit spread around a little bit more, right? And maybe Iowa has a better chance to knock off Michigan now, or Nebraska. Football school maybe has a chance to knock off Duke, but it's still those programs that have the most money are still. Yeah. You look at the top 16, they all got money, right? They all
got money.
There's nobody in it that doesn't. Oh, Houston, I know Kelvin Sampson has complained and talked about they don't have the big money, the big NIL money, and he's just done an outstanding job
Yeah.
of that. I think, what is this, their 5th, 6th straight Sweet 16? I mean, he's an outstanding coach. They have a chance, you know.
He has such a reputation that kids may take a little less just to go play play for him. So but that's what we have there. I'm gonna see if I can get the men's ratings up here in a second. What we have here. Now here's the individual. I think I kicked this both off. The Tendex individual players. Whoa, Acuff has really shot up the board.
Yeah, well, BYU guy, DePansto, he was up there high, but now they're knocked out. He had the second rating, but Boozer's rating has gone up close to 100 points since the tournament started. Acuff, the same, is going up about 100 points. Swain is a little surprising to me. I did his rating before the tournament. It was very high. He hasn't really shown that to me. In fact, his rating is going up, but he's not like a big scorer. He does everything. He's one of the guys that Tendex values. He scores, he rebounds, he passes the ball, he plays good defense. So not all great Tendex players are like great scorers. You know, other statistics may make up for the points. And I think he's one of those guys. I think he needs to shoot a little bit more now. He is their best player. And for them to advance, get past Purdue, he's going to have a big-time game.
Yeah, that's Braden Smith. He's ranked pretty high there. JD.
Oh yeah, he's bona fide. I mean, now it may hurt him because he's smaller and he's a senior, and for some reason, NBA teams don't like to draft seniors and juniors. I don't know what it is. They had no trouble drafting the Tim Duncans and all those guys back in the day who were seniors, but now all of a sudden we don't want to draft seniors anymore. I don't understand that.
And we're joined by our great friend Bobbi Roquemore. Bobbi.
Hello. My favorite time of year. NCAA basketball, baseball is about to start.
Absolutely. Bobbi, how's your bracket looking?
I stopped doing brackets a long time ago, but as far as who I think is going, who I thought was going to make it, I'm glad to see the Big East do well. 2 of the 3 teams made it. I'm glad to see the Big Ten do well.
Yeah, Big Ten.
After a slow start, let's just say, with Ohio State and Wisconsin. And so 3 of the 4, the Houston South Regional is here, and 3 of the 4 teams are from the Big Ten.
That's
and of course, Houston. Now they play, of course, at an on-campus arena, not the Toyota Center, but having your fans kind of nearby is helpful. At the same time, prices are high because Nebraska's never been there before. Iowa hasn't been there in forever. And of course, Houston is Houston. So this has been a fun tournament overall.
It really has. And again, tomorrow night we got Texas and Purdue, Iowa and Nebraska, Arkansas and Arizona, and Illinois and Houston. Illinois, I was surprised they got here. They really they were kind of up and down team throughout the year. They had the young freshman. Is that Wagler? Yeah, Wagler.
Yeah, he's on that list.
I saw him the night he had 40. I'm like, goodness gracious.
Apparently he was under-recruited
out there, man.
Apparently he was under-recruited. Was not a major recruit until the very end. Everybody jumped on the bandwagon.
Right, and Brad Underwood has been at this forever. I believe that's the Illinois. Yeah, he's been at. I'm just trying to remember where else he was at. I mean, so he always seems to find a way.
Yeah. Yeah, Illinois has been very, since he's been there the last few years. I mean, they've been right in the thick. I mean, he's
they've had
had
some
them in
really
contention. He's done a really good job at that program.
that,
Yes.
that I, to me, this is one of his better teams. He's had some better teams that didn't even get this far. So props to the Fighting Illini and the Big Ten with 6 teams in there. Anybody else on this list, guys? Jeremy Fears from Michigan State. I wonder what his pro prospects are. His toughness reminds me of Mateen Cleaves back in the day, and his leadership. And I think he's a lot like Mateen. He's not a great offensive player, but hard nosed and tough. But
he has a much higher rating than Mateen Cleaves had, though. He has a very high rating. He's a freshman, right? Is he a freshman?
He may be a redshirt freshman or something. I'll look that up.
He has a top 5 lottery rating right there. Almost. So yeah, he's had an outstanding year. The guy that if Michigan State's going to really, I mean, I see the highlights. So what's the guy that always gets all the amazing dunks? But
Cohen, yeah.
Yeah, but if they're going to do anything, it's going to be Fears that's going to take them there.
Yeah, Fears is a sophomore. I think he's a redshirt sophomore.
Is it okay?
Yeah, is that he had a situation where he had to leave because of a injury or something?
Yeah, he's from Joliet, Illinois.
Yeah.
23 was his freshman year, and I think he was home during the holiday and got shot.
Yes.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Does he have a brother that played at Oklahoma, or am I no? Because there's a Fears that was at Oklahoma last year that went to the draft. That may just have the same name. But he was a point guard as well. He played at Oklahoma last year.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm looking at the draft room here. Boy, they definitely have him as a if he comes out, he may not come out since he's just a sophomore. But they like him.
I mean, to that point, Rick, it's almost like these guys have to come out, because to me it seems like now the longer you stay in college, the scouts they knock them down. I mean, I would imagine the top, maybe almost the top 10 players will probably all be freshmen that'll be drafted. I mean, that was like the case last year. They just punish our guy Yaxel in Michigan. He's not going to be a top 5 pick, I don't think.
You're absolutely right.
It's a shame, but they punish these guys. So for that reason, these guys are going to probably come out where their value is at highest, even though they still have developing to go.
And you guys know this because y'all have been around. I got a good buddy, former scout and front office guy in the NBA, and he says there's 30 teams in the NBA, and about 20 of them don't have a clue what they're doing.
He's right.
And they're thinking about adding 2 more. I believe Seattle and Vegas are very much up for expansion. It's getting very close.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll become. We're gonna get there. I want to get to the ladies also. Are we good? We're good here.
Yeah, Tendex didn't predict. All Tendex does is show the matchups and then put the team's ratings. If you want to pick the team with the higher rating and say they're going to win, you can. But Tendex just likes to show them what their rating is playing each other. So, we'll see.
The top. I think this tournament was wide open on the men's side.
Oh yeah,
I really do. So let's see what else we can get here. What am I doing? What have I done to myself? Let's get the ladies up here.
It's a difference in the women's basketball. There are really great teams at the top.
Yep.
And you're going to pick from 3 or 4 of those teams that are going to win it. And there's a bunch of other good teams. But just look at the disparity between a UConn, and the LSU, and the ratings of a Minnesota. I mean, you're talking about like almost a 30-point rating difference.
And you saw that in the first round of the tournament. I mean, they just teams just get blown out. I
Yeah.
mean, just destroyed. And as the tournament compresses, competition gets a little better. But even here, UConn won for. Did you see the coach from Syracuse? Said,
Yes, I saw her.
"Why
That was
do you always put us in the?"
yeah.
You know, I get that, but I don't think you go public with that.
No, that was not a good look. And they got a new AD there too. I don't know how that's going to go over. They just
Yeah,
hired a new AD from
you know what?
Toledo.
You got to build your program.
Yeah, that was not good.
Compete. What you think? UConn needs to come down and meet you?
Well, the funny
I
thing
get
is,
the frustration. I get the frustration.
oh hey, but they also don't like to spread them out. I mean, I think one of the reasons why they do it is
Right.
because, from a travel standpoint, they'd rather Syracuse play in there than send them out west from a travel standpoint. So I think that's one of the. Unfortunately, they're in the same region with like the best college program in women's basketball.
Right.
They're not even that far. They're very close to them. But yeah, you got to figure out a more diplomatic way to present your argument than the way she did. She came across. I don't know if she got a lot of sympathy with that.
No, you got to meet the moment. And you mentioned. Let me see what you said about LSU here, Jay.
Yeah, they're not ranked. I don't think people consider. I don't know, but they have a very high rating.
No one has LSU ranked as high as Tendex has. So Tendex is seeing something with them.
Have a lot of talented players. They have a lot of talented players, and they destroyed most of their opponents. They run up big scores in the NCAA tournament. They did. UConn did. South Carolina did. Texas did. They just demolished their early round opponents.
Right. Yeah. And I think part of that too is getting kids a chance to play, because maybe as the games get tighter, they may not be able to play. And so, you got players who maybe don't get to see a lot of action, or this is their chance to be able to say they played in the tournament. So I can see from a coach's perspective why that may happen as well. Whereas on the men's side, that may not be the case.
Yeah.
So look at that. Let me see if I can get the ladies' schedule up here. Coming up Friday, we got Vandy and Notre Dame. That'll be a good matchup. North Carolina and UConn, 1 versus 4. Duke and LSU.
That's going to be a good game.
Yeah, Friday night at 10 o'clock. And Minnesota and UCLA. So that will be a good one also. And then Saturday, Louisville and Michigan, Kentucky and Texas, Oklahoma and South Carolina, and Virginia and TCU. I guess TCU would be the Cinderella here, although they got plenty of money. They're big time.
Yeah,
they're a 3 seed. I mean, they become a brand name in the last couple of years, especially with the expanded Big 12. And if you can rise to the top of that, that's saying something, as opposed to being one of the best of 10 teams versus being one of the best of whatever 16 teams or whatever they have now, and got a couple of brand names. I believe the Haley Van Lith went there, did well. One of the Cavender twins or something, I think, ended up there, or both of them. So, they got some big names and probably drew a lot of interest. And then that, breeds more interest in your program itself. And here they are, a 3 seed, at the tournament. And just like, it's funny you mentioned Iowa. I've been following all my life the C. Vivian Stringer, and people, and the funny part about it is Iowans know that their basketball was way great, way before Caitlin Clark. But for some reason, most people did not. Like I said, C. Viv in the 80s, I remember that. and they'll be the first ones to tell you that this black woman is the one who set the program on fire and put them on the path that they were to be able to get a Caitlin Clark.
Yep.
And so it's good to see them winning without, Caitlin Clark, but we always knew that, anyone who ever followed Iowa and Big Ten basketball.
And if you look on the ladies' side, just like we were just talking, really no Cinderellas, and not even close to being a Cinderella on the ladies' side. Because going back to what the coach from Syracuse was saying, it's really hard to upset teams because first round you got to go to their place and play. Number one, right? So,
yes, and I get that because of the attendance. Maybe one day they'll get there to where they can have neutral sites again, but I'd rather see a full house, a packed house, a hype house. Then it makes a better television. The team has earned it, and then they'll go to their regionals for the Sweet 16. I think that's great.
Well, Notre Dame, who has the lowest rating of all the 16 teams, has the play with the highest rating, which is kind of, I don't know if people really realize that. Hannah Hidalgo has a higher rating even than Sarah Strong, and I didn't realize it until I did her rating. She's outstanding. You could have a situation where you have one player just taking over a tournament game. Mm-hmm. I mean, because clearly they're not the best team, but they have the best, if not one of the best players. So I would just say that game is going to be worth watching just to see what Hidalgo is able to do and how they play her. How teams defend her. That could be a possibility. But overall, you're right. I don't really see a Cinderella in the women's bracket.
I'm trying to get them up.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could say I thought Iowa had won that game. Actually, they lost it in overtime. I feel like I saw that, and that's what I'm like surprised. So actually, your Cinderella would be the 10 seed Virginia, even though that's a brand name too.
Yeah,
going back to Dawn Staley again, the 80s, and but here they are as a 10 seed, and they upset number 2 Iowa. So, yeah, like I said, I feel like I was watching that game and just thought Iowa had it, but apparently not. Virginia ends up winning it out in overtime, and so they're the 10 seed who beat the 2 seed.
And I think I got them now. I want to get this up here very quick. Nope, that is not it. Let's see. Well, I may have to move on, and I can't see them.
Yeah, and another, Kentucky, I hadn't really seen them before. Good for them. 5 seed.
Yeah, well, let's move on. I apologize for not being able to get the top ladies up on the board. I can't go over them right quick. You were talking about the highest rated woman. Is Hidalgo from Notre Dame, Olivia Miles from TCU, and
who was at Notre Dame. Remember, she was supposed to go in the draft, and people couldn't figure out why she stayed in college, and she went to TCU, and because she said she could make more money at TCU this year than she could if she'd gone to the draft. So she's one of the reasons why TCU was up in there.
That'll change a little bit next year because. The WNBA, the ladies got a nice raise. Yeah, minimum salary is now $600,000, and you max out at a little bit over $1 million in salary. So that's fantastic for the ladies. And
yes, and another huge. Go ahead. I just wanted to add another huge factor that I saw that you really don't think about, but nowadays we have to, is a housing allowance. So imagine that $74,000, and then you play for the New York Liberty, and it's even less than that. So that's nice to see that the younger players will be able to get a housing stipend, on top of their salary, because that's just where we are now as a country. It's just hard to. And then living there for a short time, you getting a short lease, it's hard. It's just hard. So that was a nice thing to have negotiated and gotten out of the new CBA.
Hey guys, what are your thoughts on there's been a lot of talk about the the 65 game rule. The NBA Players Association said they wanted it abolished or reformed. They cite Kay Cunningham probably being ineligible for any postseason award because he's not going to, he suffered a punctured lung, collapsed lung, and the Pistons may bring him back, but they may just wait for him to come back for the tournament. Any thoughts on that? And there's also been some thoughts on reducing the number of games from 82 to 70. But I'll just tell you this right quick. I think guys will still sit out if it's 70 games.
Mm-hmm.
If it's 70 games, you think Joe's going to play 70 games? You think LeBron's going to play 70 games?
I don't know. I'm sitting on my lawn. I'm telling the kids to get off my lawn. So that's where I am with this. But I don't get it. I mean, like I said, I remember traveling, covering NBA games with the teams on the same plane with them. We flew commercial with the players. They didn't have jets. They didn't have dietitians. They didn't have chefs. These guys that eat their meals on the plane, their private plane, when they go to cities now. The training facilities now are just, come on, not even close to what they had back then. Right. And you had guys playing 82 games a year back then. They played it. It was a different mindset. They played hurt, but they played. And now we're at 82, and now we said let's reduce it. When like you say, Rick, I agree. Because they go to 70 now, guys are still going to be load managing. That's not going to change. They're not going to all of a sudden start playing 70 games now because they reduced it by 12. They're still going to have that same mentality. So I would hold firm on that. And I always try to favor the players, but I don't see that. If those guys back then, what that boy say on Coming to America about his mama called him Clay, I'm gonna call him Clay. If they could play back then, 82 games, they can play 82 games now. I'm sorry, okay? I'm sorry.
Yes. But I would like to propose a solution for the Kay Cunninghams of the world. Yeah. I get the spirit of the rule. You want a person to play 65 games. Yeah. You don't want them gaming the system throughout the season. Right. In his case, he did not game the season. Right. So maybe 65 games or 80% of the first some sort of metric to account for the player who just had bad luck. Because you don't want him discouraged from not playing at the end because he might miss out. If I go 64 straight, I might miss out on the 65. You don't want to discourage that. So you have to, I think to insert some sort of metric to say this person wasn't gaming the system. Yeah. If they played in 90% of the first 70 games, then they should be counted too, because clearly they weren't trying to load manage. They were just trying to, play as much as they can and just had bad luck.
But I get that. Yeah. But part of greatness is availability. I mean, you got Bill Walton, great player, couldn't stay available. I mean, so, but, and I say that, man, if this guy, if his impact was so dynamic in 64 games, that you think, despite him missing these games, his contributions to his team and was so that, vote for him. If you don't think it, don't vote for him. I think Gale Sayers only played 5 or 6 seasons. Yeah. He was so dynamic. Mm-hmm. This dude's Hall of Fame. So. Yeah.
Megatron, same thing. You didn't play long, but played a lot. Barry Sanders, but there has to be some sort of metric to protect the player who is trying to do what the NBA wants you to do. but has bad luck towards the end of the season.
Yeah, if you miss 20 games with a knee injury, then yeah, I'm going to give you the I'm not going to punish you. Why should I punish that person? He misses 20 games with an injury. Okay.
Right. A legit injury. Right. Yeah. And they came back, or like you said, it could have been in the middle of the season where they played the first and then missed 20, but again, it's about the spirit of the rule as written, the spirit of the rule, and what are we trying to accomplish, and having some sort of metric of availability versus do not play coach's decision. Okay, that's out of your control.
Yeah.
Versus do not play because I'm resting. Well, what do they call it? I saw the word. I said, "Are you kidding me?" Whatever they call it. Rest. No. And again, hey, we PCO. Hey, I need a day off every now and then. I'm not mad. But I mean, it's just the back end of a back to back. I get it. I get jet lag very badly. So I understand. How that goes, if you need the back end of a back-to-back, they got players now. Like I said, I think the Cavs are on the West Coast and then came play the home game.
Yeah.
Like, whoa, you know what I'm saying? See, at Sacramento or something. And it's like, wait a minute. I can see something like that. But again, it's the spirit of the rule, people doing things intentionally, in the interest of themselves. And versus the athlete who just needs a day off because that's where we are as a society. They have a lot more pressure on them than they did in the past. Everything's televised, everything, so let's keep that part into account too. You may need a mental health day and a physical health day at the same time. I understand it.
What kills me now is it's hard for me to understand with the specialization of the game in the NBA, as JD was just talking, the travel is so much better now. JD, you would wake up in cities you ain't know where you were, right? I mean,
but they still don't. I mean, I'm just saying. I've looked at the schedule.
You have nutritionists, and but the injuries are a bigger part, play a bigger part in the NBA now than they ever had, and that's just. Amazing to me.
Back then, guys played. If a guy tore his ACL, he wasn't going to play back then.
Right.
I think back then, guys played hurt. They played. Yes. They dealt with more stuff back then. To be honest with you, if you can't play, you can't play. But I just think guys sucked it up. It was just a different mindset back then. It was 20 years ago, 30 years ago. The guys played. They played hurt. They played injured. They didn't play if they couldn't, if they just physically couldn't play. I just think, like you said, the mindset is just changed now. But I think the players' union needs to read the room. We were just talking recently about how the league is being viewed. Now, okay, hey, we want to reduce our games. Fans are already throwing their hands up with this. Now they say, okay, well, now they want to play less games. They're still going to sit out. I'm still going to pay $500, take my kid to watch the game, and LeBron's still not going to play. Right. So I'm still pissed. That type of
there's
thing.
Less of a chance. You can go, get a team that isn't that good. You can kind of take your kid to that game because the game may be cheaper, or an unfamiliar, versus a non-rival or something like that, or on a weekday. But you take that away. And maybe it's not. That's the one thing, as a season ticket holder for football and a season ticket holder for basketball, I do appreciate the Cavaliers, at least, and just what I see on League Pass with other teams who aren't, who are just, the in-game experience is just better. It's just fun to be there, whether you're winning or losing. And it's not catering to television. They actually cater to the fans who are there, and it's really a great experience that I'm glad I've been able to partake in lately, that I just didn't realize, how much they go out their way. And, Rockets games I've been to, same thing, even though that's not my team that I root for. It's just a better in-game experience. At the same time, maybe they can take, I'm just trying to think of how that could work. If they're going to add 2 teams, maybe they can have less, maybe start at 78 or something like that. Dropping all the way to 70, I'm not sure. but I can see some games because now you have 2 more teams. There are more jobs available, more teams to put on television to make up for that lack of game, that the lack of games that a certain team may play.
Speaking of 2 more teams, guys, it looked like the NBA is coming back to Seattle and heading towards Vegas. You go to Vegas and make a bet that they're going to get a team in Vegas. JD, you know what kind of town, basketball town Seattle is. You probably think it's a good thing to see them coming back there.
Yeah, I mean, Seattle's a great town. It was a shame that they lost their team. I'm not as excited about Vegas. That just bothers me, concerns me. I just, it's Vegas. And having an NBA team there, I mean, I don't know how it's really going over with the Raiders there. I haven't heard some not so positive stories about it. I don't know. But money is money, and this league is about making its owners money. And those owners are going to cash out on the expansion fees they're going to get. They're all going to get paid. So they want it. So it's going to happen.
I mean, the population, Vegas boomed, when the economy boomed, but I just wonder if they have the population to sustain all 4 sports teams. Remember, the first team that was there was hockey, and they've done well. The Knights are great. They have just, that was a great idea to put them there, and it made it safe for other leagues to think about it. Yep. Cleveland doesn't even have all 4 teams. I mean, we don't have, Pittsburgh doesn't have all 4 teams. That's hard. That's hard to do. And I just don't know if they can sustain that. And there has to be another city somewhere that they can find if they want to expand.
Yeah, I take you back years ago when I worked in St. Pete Times, now Tampa Bay Times, and they were trying forever to get a baseball team there. They almost had the White Sox. It was like a midnight deal, and it's going to be great here because we've got all the retirees, and they all moved down here, right? And they finally got a team, and they play in the smallest stadium, which the roof blew off last year in a hurricane. The attendance has been horrific the whole time. Well, yeah, that's true. The retirees are down there, but guess what? They all have their favorite teams, and they all go to training. They all go to spring training games. But guess what? Those great baseball fans, they couldn't be bothered to go to the Dome. You look at the numbers. Tampa Bay's attendance has just been, and there's been talk of them possibly moving. It's just been horrific. And I'm not comparing that to Vegas, but sometimes your eyes get bigger than your stomach.
Yeah.
And like you're saying, Bobby, maybe that's, they've got some pro teams there already, adding an NBA expansion team, which could be some 20 and 62 seasons. Right. How long before the excitement wears off there?
Yeah, and you got the hockey team doing very well, winning titles. They've already got an established fan base and the atmosphere, and trying to share that with, the T-Mobile Arena, I guess, would be where they would play. Where are you going to play? You got to squeeze that in on top of the Usher concert or whatever else they also have in Vegas. I just don't see it.
But long as they don't play in one of the casinos. Long as they don't play in one of the casinos.
Yeah, they
don't play in one of the casinos.
Right. The Mandalay Bay is beautiful. I've been to an Aces game. I forgot about them.
They can't play in.
I said 4 teams, 5 teams.
They can't play in the casino. Sorry.
No. The
A's will be there.
I mean, no, it's a 10,000 seat arena. They've been selling out season tickets for 4 years straight. Not only, and I'm talking about before they started winning titles with A'ja Wilson, they were selling out that arena. I've been there.
Okay.
It is beautiful. Stars show up, but it's saturated. I mean, we're getting to the same point again. It is saturated. I'm just trying to think of a 30-second city that they can add. Obviously Seattle, but maybe that's our homework assignment. Find a 30-second city for the NBA.
You better hurry up because they don't.
I think they've already dotted those I's and crossed those T's almost.
That deal is what's going to be interesting to see who's owning some of these teams. I remember LeBron early in his career, he say he wants to own a team. Then I think I heard him say he's not interested now, but I wouldn't be surprised if he's part of some ownership group that bids for a team. Hey, let me just get everybody caught up. You're watching Hampton and Harris with attorney Bobbi Roquemore. We just got a few more minutes. Man, time has flown by here tonight. Hey, send us your questions and comments out there. Anything that's on your mind regarding the NCAAs, the expansion, NBA playoffs headed down the home stretch. Any thoughts on the final weeks of the season, guys? Anybody you think is putting themselves in a good position? We didn't do our 10-dex NBA ratings tonight because we wanted to focus in on the NCAA tournament. But JD, I don't know if you checked in lately, but what are you seeing?
I mean, I haven't done it, like I said with the ratings. They don't. Over a course of a season, maybe in that last month, we want to look at the last month and see who's really right. I mean, you can look. Oklahoma City, I think they lost tonight, but they had a long winning streak. San Antonio had a long winning streak. I mean, you can look at the teams like that. Their ratings will have gone up a little bit by the time we get to the end of the season. They're playing good ball now when you want to be playing good ball. The Lakers rating has gone up from the last time I did it. I don't see a lot changing. The Lakers are going to have a tough way to go. They're going to have a tough first round matchup. Whether it's Denver, whether it's Minnesota, before thinking about winning the championship or getting to the finals. It's going to be hard. I mean, you got to get through there, and at the end of it, you may have to play. San Antonio. Then if you get through San Antonio, you got to play OKC. So, if can they lace it up for 3-4 straight weeks, 7-game series? You ain't taking no days off. We got no more load management. No more elbow injuries. You're going to have to play. And teams gearing up, how to take the ball out of Luka's hand, how we force these guys to continue to play defense. Those are the things that happen in the playoffs that don't happen in the regular season. I'm intrigued it's about San Antonio because I think they're on a hot roll. I know Wemby's saying he should win the MVP and all that, but I'm fascinated by this young team. None of these players are going to the playoffs. I'm going to be fascinated to see how they handle that because that's a different world. They don't know it because they've never done it. Now, Harrison Barnes is on the team. He can tell them what it's like. But until you experience it, until you experience more physicality from the officials, teams just really getting you on their sites for 2 weeks, taking away some of the things that you were really doing well, how they handle that will be really intriguing to me. So I'm looking for things like that. And your Pistons in the East, can they hold off Boston, which seems to be making this late season charge and make it to the finals?
Right. And add New York in there since the last
and your
time.
Cavs. I mean,
Yeah, I mean the Cavs. Yeah, we're up and down, sideways. I don't know. It all depends. But the Knicks have been looking well. In Orlando, I thought they were making a huge move, but it looks like they're sliding out.
Yeah.
Orlando's lost 6 straight. I don't know if they played them. They have won tonight. The Knicks, to your point, have won 7 straight. The Pistons lost tonight in overtime, but they had won. They were 7-3. They had won 4 straight 7-3 in that last 10 games. But you mentioned y'all don't think I'm crazy. I am not a big fan of Luka Doncic's game. I don't think the Lakers are going to beat anybody with him leading the way, Bobby. I know the guy's a phenomenal shot maker.
Yeah,
but I saw him when he was here the other night in Detroit. He had 32 points. He probably shot 32 times. Mm-hmm. He's a volume scorer. He's not an efficient scorer. And maybe that changes a little bit. And maybe it might be better, JD, if they get the ball out of his hands and let LeBron Austin Reeves do some work in the playoff.
Well, we talked earlier. I told you he reminds. It's funny how he's viewed, but he to me he is a paler version of James Harden. When James Harden was in his peak, he was putting up monster numbers, and he was dishing it, and he won MVP, right? He won 1 or 2 MVPs. Yes. I mean, there was nobody better. I don't see Luka's game, and maybe he's a little bit better ball handler. I see their games being very similar, to be honest with you. And it's hard for that kind of player to win it all. You know, it just is. You know, playoffs are just so different, so much more physical. And they're not going to just let him just – if they play against OKC or San Antonio, they're not going to let him just dribble it up and do what he wants. They're going to take the ball out. Rick, to your point, they're going to take the ball out of his hand. You know.
And those good teams are going – those good teams, those good coaches, they can lock in on you because they're not leaving tonight to go play Atlanta tomorrow. No, we playing you again, and we locking in on you.
Yeah.
And that playoff basketball is when the coaching really steps up, when the focus of the team steps up, and all these top teams are good defensive teams. So that will be interesting. You know, JD, you've been trying to tell me Detroit. I as you guys know, I'm in Detroit now. I'm naturally skeptical of a Detroit team.
Come on, don't be skeptical. Go for it.
But you know what? They are a really good team. And this little stretch without Cade has showed me something that they benefit them in the playoffs. I always knew they were a very good defensive team. And they are going to be able to lock in on teams in the playoffs. But teams going to be able to lock in on them. So we might see some 94 games in the Pistons.
I hope so. I'm getting tired of these 137, 24 games, man. I'm serious. I want to see some 90 to 87 games. That's what I want.
Hey, what about Philly? They're in the 7th spot, 40-32. Atlanta, who beat Detroit 130-129 in overtime, they've won. They're 9-1 in their last 10 games.
Wow.
But Philly, man, if Joel decides, you know what, I'm gonna be Joel. You can't trust him, no can.
How many times we gonna say that, man?
Yeah.
We done said that. How many years have we said that?
Yeah.
And we had that run. Remember, he came back this year. Oh man, look at him. He's unbelievable, right? And you knew it was going to happen. And
see, Bobby JD's a Philly guy, so.
Okay, I didn't realize that was hometown. Okay.
You can't trust him.
Got the system that Detroiters have.
You just can't trust him, man. I'm sorry. I mean, he just can't stay healthy. He just can't. His body he's like a much bigger version of Bill Walton. His body has betrayed him. For the talent is undeniable, but he just cannot stay healthy. He can hit the threes. He can score inside. He's just an unbelievably talented player. But he just, like you said, Rick, I mean, what's your availability?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter how good you are if I can't count on you.
Hey, Bobby, what's happening in Houston?
Yeah, I mean, I talked to a friend about it, and I just said, ultimately, without, when I just remember the day Fred VanVleet was injured. I remember, and I was like, oh boy, this is not good. And they came out, played well, and got was pretty much hanging with OKC. And then it just, the ball handler, you need a ball handler. It's not.
Does it surprise you that they did somebody? Does it surprise you?
I mean, I can just see what's missing. So that to me, I think that's just, it was all good in December and January and stuff. But once you get into the dog days of the season, it's just kind of hard, and it's just starting to kind of show to me more than it did before. And then apparently KD and his burner phone issue.
Oh, God.
I don't know. I don't get into the gossip, but so it's just starting to see a couple of little cracks around there. But again, they have a solid coach. I think, and he has something to prove again to himself and to the world. And I think, and he's done a great job so far. And just looking at the West, they're all kind of, up and down, the 6th seed and all of that. I think they should be able to hold court and get that 6th seed, play the Lakers and see what happens. But that's just kind of been my thing. Just, like it just ultimately just wasn't going to hold up. Not having that much talent.
I blame the front office. You go out and get Kevin Durant, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're making, Van Vliet gets hurt. So you need another point guard, right? And you don't, every year is the year you got to win it. You're not promised next year. Mm-hmm. So to me, I'm going out. I saw Oklahoma City picked up a McClain from Philly who's really helped them a lot. Houston should have done something like that and go out there and got a point guard. That's what they needed, right? They know they still need one. Because you don't know what next year is going to be. You don't know where Durant's going to be a year from now, as far as physically. You got to go for it this year.
I would not invest against Cleveland.
Yeah.
Cleveland stole Dennis Schroeder. They just gave it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was Keanu. Yeah, just everything. Yeah.
How do you not go after somebody like that? I don't get it.
30 teams in the league. Schroeder's been on 20 of them, but he is a good, solid point guard. He helped the Pistons tremendously last year in the playoff. Perfect backup for Van Vliet. Hey, we got to get out of here. But before we go, I want to throw this up here and get your thoughts on this. Not that. Let's see. Let me try it again. Come on, I'm panicking here. I'm the pressure. I can't take the pressure.
Well, I'll just while you looking for that.
Coach.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, yeah.
No, I was just going to say the Maryland coach, Freeze, and her best player went viral for their face-to-face moment in the. Here we go. I think we got it now. In the NC tournament game, I got it now. And she caught a lot of criticism for it. But after the game, the player, Oluchi, her star player, said, "Hey, I ain't have no problem with it." Oluchi Okwana, she said, "I want to be coached hard. And Coach Freeze coaches me hard." So that's the kind of relationship we had. I'm paraphrasing what she said. That's some old school coaching. I don't know if you got to get that close to make that point. But I don't mind it personally if you got that kind of relationship with a guy or with a young lady to get after him. And she was telling her to lock in. You're the best player out here. Your thoughts on this?
Consistency. As long as if that's who you are, then that's who you are. Remind me of Tom Coughlin in the NFL. That's who he was. If as long as it's not being done unevenly, then this person. It's just weird for some people still in this era to see a woman that strong, that way, and then the racial element maybe a little bit too. But those of us who play, that's how it goes. You play, in the heat of the moment. This is a game.
Yeah.
Don Staley would do the same thing, and nobody would care.
What do you think, JD?
Yeah, I agree. I don't have a. Yeah, if there's this relationship between these two, if it's not being performative, if it's not just something out of the blue, catching the player totally off guard, this is how she coaches. I'm sure practices are like this too. We don't see the practices. Yeah. It's called the personification of coaching hard. Mm-hmm. And I don't have a problem with it. Like you said, we're in a day and age where that people really, you're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to sit them on the bench and give them some cup of hot chocolate and pat them on the back. And
I had a chance to coach Tom Izzo throughout his career. Coach Izzo coaches like that.
That's another one.
And the thing about is he'll let you come back at him if you got a point.
Yeah, so that's even better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that they have that kind of relationship where they can do that.
Right.
Yeah. So, but nowadays, guys, Well, 90% of college players will be in the portal the next day.
Tomorrow.
Right.
Yes, I'm out of here.
Hey, we got to get out of here. Hey, guys, thanks for tuning in. We're going to be here every week on Thursdays, most times, unless something's going on big like the NCAA tournaments this weekend. Subscribe to our show. J.D. Harris is the author there. He's got his book, Tomlin Behind Him, The Soul of a Coach. Bobbi Roquemore is a well-known attorney in the Houston, Cleveland area. And I'm just the guy that gets to hang out with him.
Who's got a golf book coming out. He won't talk about it.
Yeah, it's coming, baby. It's coming. Coming Rising, coming this summer. I tell you, JD, these administrative part of this book, harder than writing the book. But
Yes.
we'll be out in a matter of weeks. But this
There you
is
go.
so much fun. We'll be here every week. We'll be doing 10 decks. We'll be taking your questions and comments on whatever you got going on. Tell a friend, subscribe, and you'll get more information on our shows to come. But until then, for my great friend J.D. Harris and Bobbi Roquemore, I'm Rick Hampton. Peace, everybody. Good night. Good luck with your teams this weekend.
See ya.